Season's greetings. Have you ever wondered where some of our most popular Christmas songs come from? This book, written in 1943, Sing for Christmas by Opal Wheeler, covers that subject. The first song we can go over is Joy to the World. Who doesn't know that one? It was written by a man named Isaac Watts over 300 years ago in England. Isaac, when he was a child, he was so sweet and loving and kind. His parents, according to the book, just couldn't wait to figure out what he would be when he got older. He loved to write songs on the piano. So when he was a young man, he decided to become a minister. He became ill, sadly, and he couldn't write anymore. He couldn't write poems anymore, and he couldn't minister to people. But luckily, his friend, Sir Thomas Abney, invited Isaac to stay at his beautiful country estate. After Isaac got to the estate, all of his inspiration returned, and he could then write lovely poems again. Isaac decided to stay and was welcomed to stay as well by his friend for the rest of his life, for 35 years. And Joy to the World happened to be one of those songs Isaac wrote in his first week at the estate. Joy to the World was written by Isaac and then was actually put to music by Handel, the famous composer. Let me show you the illustration that goes along with this story. Here is young Isaac at the piano, composing. "O Come All Ye Faithful" is the next song. No one really knows who wrote "O Come All Ye Faithful," but the story covered in this book tells of some monks, brown-hooded monks, who were going to Mass on Christmas. And one of the monks starts to sing, "O Come All Ye Faithful," and the other monks just joined in. It was originally composed in Latin, that much is known. But other than that, there's not much known about the origins of this particular Christmas carol. Deck the Hall. Here's the illustration. A man chopping down a tree for a Yule log. Deck the Hall is always very popular in England and the North countries. The story in this book about Deck the Hall covers how during Yule, a Yule log would be prepared, right? And it stayed lit was how long the party would go. So for instance, if the Yule log was burning for only 2 days, the party would last 2 days. But if the Yule log burned for a week, people would have a party for a week. Also discusses the practice of during Yule, I think before the log was lit on fire, people who went to the party would sit on the Yule log and they would reminisce about the past year and also kind of make wishes. It also covers some lines from Deck the Hall. "Fast away the old year passes." Well, what that line means is basically the people were like, oh my gosh, we have to wait an entire other year before we can have another Yule party. Darn it. So yes, it goes into the analysis of some of the words in the song. And speaking of parties, "The Holly and the Ivy" is another song kind of about a party. Let me show you the illustration first before I get into the story covered in this particular book. "The Holly and the Ivy." As you can tell, it's about a feast. The melody is French and the words are of English origin, but the actual writer, the actual author, is again unknown because the song is just so darn old. "The Holly and the Ivy" is said to have been created in times predating modern Christmas. And there was a king once who was very, very sad, and he didn't have anyone to have a holiday party with, so he decided to invite all of the people in the village, and they all came to his party. And when they opened the doors to his castle, they saw a huge feast spread before them with duck, pig, anything you can think of that these pre-Christmas people might enjoy dining upon. And so the king said to them, no, don't start eating yet. Before you eat, we're going to play a little game. And he said, "Holly," and holly refers to men and ivy refers to women. So he said, "Are there any hollies here who are daring enough to get up and sing a song about how they can dominate over their wives?" Not many hollies stood up, except for one, and he started to sing in front of everyone, and what didn't go very well. So the king just kind of started to laugh at him, and even his wife started to laugh at him. And then the king said, "Ivies, women, are there any ivies who would like to stand up and sing a song in front of everyone about how they can dominate their hollies or their husbands. And all of the women, all of the Ivies, apparently stood up in this party and started to sing a song similar to the Holly and the Ivy. Is it a true story relating to how this song was actually created? I don't know, but it's a fun one. So yes. Here we come a wassailing. This is another fun one. Let me show you the illustration. If you're not that familiar with the song, it discusses people going door to door wassailing. Well, what is wassailing? Apparently wassailing is when you go door to door and you request spicy beer from your neighbors. Yes, this practice was indulged in by mostly young people, primarily males, I guess, from what the story says. And they would go in their neighborhood in the countryside from door to door asking for wassail. They would say, wassail, wassail. You go through the lines in the carol, it kind of explains the practice. Let me read you the second line. We are not daily beggars that beg from door to door, but we are neighbors' children whom you have seen before. Basically saying, hey, you know me. Can't you get me some spicy beer? Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to just beg for your money. All I want is your spicy beer. Kind of funny. The next song is a bit more serious, The First Noel. Who wrote the First Noel? Again, nobody knows. Some people will say it's of French origin if you go with the spelling of Noel, and some people will say it's of English origin if you pronounce Noel and spell Noel with the Nowell. So French, English, who really knows? Some say that the first Noel might have actually been sung by the shepherd boys as they were going to visit baby Jesus, and that's just one hypothesis. But don't know, but it is a beautiful, beautiful carol. And the last carol we will look into today is Good King Wencolith. Here's the illustration. Good King Wencolith is actually about a duke named Wencolith in Bohemia. And Duke Wencolith was so kind that the people that he led and ruled over actually called him a king, just to kind of be courteous to him. Any of his people needed help because of being ill or being hungry, he himself would get up during the middle of the night and make certain that that person received the care that they need. Anyway, Sing for Christmas by Opal Wheeler. I got this book from my local library, but I'm sure Thrift Books or your local library might have a copy as well. It's super cool because it's a combo history book about carols, and it then does have the carols themselves that you can play on a piano or just sing. So yes, thank you again for joining me, and I hope you're having a happy holiday season. Bye!